Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, the Sneakerhead and Y, and you are listening tonight's At the Round Table. Yes, indeedy. Welcome back to the show. Been a minute, but you heard 2 Minute Tuesday earlier today, or whenever it is that you're listening to this episode or watching it on YouTube. So you saw the episode. You heard the 2 Minute Tuesday. So you do know what's going on in the world of NFL. So it's not that I've been that far gone, but I'm back with a brand new episode. So this episode is strictly about the NBA and about the World Championship thing that Noah Lyles said. If you do not know what Noah Lyles said, here is a quick snippet.
Champion of what? The United States? You know, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times. But that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
So, I think Noah Lyles has a point. The thing is this. Any other organization, any other league in American sports, they don't ever call themselves world champions except the NBA. Major League, they don't have a Major League World Champion. They're just called the Major League Baseball World Series, and they're the Major League Baseball champions. National Hockey League is the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, and they are the Stanley Cup champions. Football is the National Football League, and they are the Super Bowl champions of the NFL. None of them say world champions. None of those three sports claim to be world champions when they win. But why is it that the NBA tries to label themselves as world champions when they win a championship? Granted, players from all over the world play in the NBA, and the NBA is the best league in the world. But the same can be said about MLS, same can be said about MLB, same can be said about NHL. And if anything, NHL probably has more international players than any sport in America. A close rival would probably be MLB. But, not to sound like a fool, let me check the Googles. We're going to check the Googles really quickly. International players in each sports league. The NHL has the highest share of international players among American sports leagues, which is what I literally just said. The NHL has people from Europe, from Canada, from all over the United States. And Canada is actually, if I'm not mistaken, the birthplace of hockey. And most hockey fans, when they think of hockey, they think of Canada. Even Canadians think more of hockey than any other sport that they watch. They have the Toronto Raptors. Years ago, they had the Vancouver Grizzlies. But they're a big hockey town. Hockey place. Every place there in Canada, Canada as I call it, they focus on hockey. So hockey has the largest amount of players that are international. But they never call themselves world champions. Now, why is it that the NBA calls themselves world champions? Let's take soccer for instance. There is the World Cup in which the United States participates if they qualify. If they win that, then they will be called soccer world champions. Why? Because they're playing everyone in the league, in the world, I'm sorry. Everyone in the world they're playing. So it's kind of like, how can you make the comparison of a world champion in in soccer or football and compare it to NBA of 32 teams. It just doesn't make sense. And it's in the name, National Basketball Association, so it's a national sport. Now, if you play basketball for the United States, you're playing for your national team because that's your nation. But I'm not understanding how people are really correlating National Basketball Association with world champions, because it's just not true. What really puts the nail on the coffin or hit the head for what Noah Lyles said is that during this FIBA World Competition, the United States didn't even place. They came in 4th place. They won 0 medals. I think it was Germany, Slovenia, and Canada that won medals. Yes, Canada beat the United States for the third place position, for the 3rd place medal, for the bronze medal. And Serbia beat Germany, or Germany beat Serbia. Germany beat Serbia to be the world champions. Franz Wagner and them boys. So they're considered world champions of the FIBA tournament. How is it that we as Americans really can't understand that? It just doesn't make any sense. So what Noah Lyles said was super accurate. They are world champions of what? Now, with the United States losing, now LeBron wants to come in the media and say, oh, I want to participate in the 2024 Olympics. So you want to participate in that now because the United States lost and Noah Lyles called you guys out on what you guys were saying, that you all are world champions? Now you want to come out and say that, and you're trying to recruit everybody to come together? Okay, the Olympics is considered a world champion of something because the Olympics are the world games. So all these people in the comments saying, well, we got the best players playing in America, but it's still not it's only a national level. They're coming over here to play, but they're coming over in every sport to play. Americans play in Europe, for Christ's sake, for football. For soccer, what I call football. Americans play in China. Like, you guys were in the comments, and this is what really gets me upset, because in the comments, it's like people with no geographical sense of anything wants to say, oh, well, Dylan Brooks, he's about to be shipped over to China. Well, China is no longer the United States. China is now a whole nother entity. So you're going to ship a player to play in the Chinese leagues, or whatever leagues it is that you want to play whenever you leave the United States. That championship is specific to that area. So this isn't about, like, I'm not going to bash America or bash Americans, because literally I am American. I'm half American. I'm from Barbados. For all those that don't know, check the tap. For all those that don't know, I'm from Barbados. But no other basketball league around the world call themselves world champions when you have players from America that go over there to play. So how can you guys not catch that correlation of that to that? It makes no sense to me that you really can't grasp that as in a whole. Like, I just don't get it. But we have a sense of entitlement that everything revolves around us. And for the most part, as growing up, this is what we are taught, that everything revolves around us in the United States. We are the upper echelon for everything or anything, especially in sports and military. We're considered to be the greatest sports. We have the greatest athletes, and we have the greatest military. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not touching any of those buttons. This is strictly a sports podcast, and that's just what that is. But furthermore, it's more so like, okay, we have to stop this sense of entitlement and stop bashing people for having an opinion, and especially if the opinion has facts behind it. It's no question that Noah Lyles, who's a track star, who's competing against other athletes of the world, can literally call himself a world champion, because that's what he is. He is a world champion. He put in the work to become a world champion in everything he does, and he is proving that he is a world champion. He's a runner, and he's won. nothing else to say about that. There's no other way to put that. He's a runner. He wins against other people in the world. So we really gotta stop that. We really gotta stop that notion that the NBA is a world game, and it's not. It's a world game, but the NBA championship, it's not a world championship. It's a far cry from it. In other news, the NBA championship. No, not the NBA. I'm done talking about the NBA. I'm over it. I'm so over it. But in the news recently, there's been, of course, the LeBron Jordan debate. That is never going to go away. What's his name? Rich Paul was on Gilbert Arenas' podcast. Yo, I'm tired of Gilbert Arenas, bro. Like, his podcast, he gets high praises because his podcast is considered to be dope. Give me Podcast P any day. Give me Draymond Green any day. Give me Nice at the Round Table any day. Gilbert Arenas, when you hear him speak about players and the NBA and the fraternity that is the NBA, he sounds like a bitter bitch. Like, all right, your career was taken away from you due to injuries. Obviously, if you played now, the advancements in medicine probably would have preserved your career. But at the end of the day, you had a bad attitude. That's one of the main reasons why you're no longer in the league. While you were no longer in the league, and you probably stopped playing at 30 years old or something like that. So your prime was really cut short. Phenomenal player at his time, but you really sound bitter. You're always trying to call out the NBA, the players from yesteryear, saying that they were trash and they were garbage, man. Like, that narrative needs to end. Listen, the punter for the New Orleans Saints. Hold on. Let me get my phone real quick. I was having a conversation with my boy. So yeah, I had a conversation with my boy King. He'll be on the show sometime real soon. I sent him a video. I sent him a picture of a punter, right, for the New Orleans Saints. 30-year-old rookie punter Lou Headley. He's a native of Australia. He worked as a scaffolder, owned a tattoo shop in Indonesia, and punted at City College in San Francisco and the University of Miami. He worked as a scaffolder. If you know what a scaffolder is, someone who does scaffolding. Okay? Cool. I bring this up to say that he is now a NFL player and he is a punter. Now, I know somebody may try to poke holes in what I'm about to say right now, but I'm open for all type of criticism. I could care less. But this guy who is a scaffolder now in the NFL, who's to say that people who have regular jobs can't play a professional sport? Just because back then people were plumbers and this, that, and the third. They were doing that because it was hard to make money in the NBA. The NBA didn't have money to be paying everybody like that. So of course they're going to have a side job. Unless you were one of the top 20 players in the league, if that, back then, your contract wasn't big and crazy. Listen, the 15th man on the bench right now gets about $2 million. One of the highest paid athletes back in Jordan's era was probably $2 million. Yes, money was different. Like, the cost of living was totally different back then than it is now. But at the end of the day, people had to do what they had to do to make some money. As simple as that. It's just as simple as that. Who's to say you, right, watching this video? Let's say you work for the New York City Department of Social Services and you're a hooper though, bro. You are a hooper. You didn't get that chance to show off your skills in college, but just out of nowhere, right? You playing some tournaments. Let's say you're 25 years old. You playing some tournaments. You get noticed by a few people. Somebody says, yo, come to my tryouts. Okay, you come to a tryout. You make the team. So you're in the G League now. You're playing, you're balling. Let's just say in 3 years from now, 28 years old, you're going to the NBA, 28-year-old rookie, and you're playing in the NBA, but your regular job was a worker for the Department of Social Services. What is the difference between you being a worker for the Department of Social Services, going through the ringer and going through every step that you had to go through, and now you're in the NBA at the age of 28, all because you played a few games? What's the difference between you doing that and players back in Jordan era, who you cannot say take their skills away from them? What's the difference between you doing that and them doing that, and they're already in the league, but they're doing it to make extra money? Just because you just because you did other things, it should not take away from the fact that you are a professional athlete and you got skills to ball. Like, this guy does tattoos for a living, and now he's a punter for the New Orleans Saints, the National Football League. Like, I'm not understanding how you people could really criticize players for just trying to make ends meet and try to make their way back in the 70s and 80s when money wasn't as prevalent as it is from 96 and on. Scottie Pippen looked at as one of the greatest small forwards of all time. If y'all watched The Last Dance, the only money he made from NBA contract, his like 10 years was 18 million or whatever. Yeah, it was 18 million, but I forgot the length of the contract. I think it was 10 years. So you're telling me arguably a top 10 small forward of all time, a top 50 player of all time, top 75 player of all time, only made about 1 point something million dollars per year on his contract. Granted, he had a horrible agent, because anybody in his shoes winning championships and being an all-star player only making about $1 million and change, that's crazy. But it happened. So what if Scottie Pippen, being one of the greatest players of all time, decided to, you know what though, this contract ain't saying much, and this Nike money ain't saying much. Let me go be a bus driver. Yeah, let me go drive a bus real quick. But he's still Scottie Pippen. He's still a multiple-time NBA champion, multiple-time NBA All-Star, one of the greatest players to ever lace up a pair of sneakers and play on the hardwood. Does that really take away from him? Y'all gotta kill this narrative, bro. Like, y'all have to kill it. Like, shoot it dead. Like, just get it out of your whole mental Rolodex of being brainwashed by all these news writers and these people that really hate Jordan and try to big LeBron up over Jordan to talk about people being plumbers and teachers and this, that, and the third. Like, I guarantee you there's plumbers in your neighborhood that probably bust your ass and ball. And then you'll say, damn, I got my ass handed to me by a plumber. Like, so y'all gotta kill this y'all gotta kill this noise, man. Y'all gotta kill this noise. It's irresponsible thinking at the same time too. Like, y'all gotta stop with this stupid narrative that because Jordan played plumbers that he ain't really playing nobody. Kill that narrative, man. Like, y'all gotta kill that narrative. So anyway, don't really have much more to say about that. I'm actually trying out something new. I just got a brand new desk. My other desk is behind me, but it's gonna be my media desk in which I do a lot of media stuff. And this is gonna be here, but I have nothing left to say about the topic of that I just spoke about. So I'm definitely gonna speak more. We have a big episode coming up, and we're gonna have to start talking about the NBA real soon because the season's about to begin. Not about to begin because we're in September. Football is just in week 1, but season 4 is about to start. This is the last episode before the start of season 4 of Nights at the Round Table, and season 4 is gonna be super fun. I know in another episode I said we're about to start season 3. I apologize. We're already in season 3. We're about to start season 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once season 4 begins, it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. Stay tuned. To all my faithful listeners and my new YouTubers that'll be on here, like watching and everything like that, I thank you guys so much for just rocking with us and sticking with me through this whole time. It's been a lot going on. I'm juggling a whole lot of things. I have now been hired as the visual director of House of Flash, which is a clothing line that I did Fashion Week shoots for, and I've done I had did some work for them, and the owner of the company, up-and-coming designer, who's been in the fashion world for a long, long time, once he hired me and considers me now as the visual director of his brand. So it's been a lot going on, moving toward the correct steps of just everything that I've been doing. So this is why it's been a while since I've done anything here on the show, and it's been like sporadic, episodes. But being at Nights at the Round Table and 2 Minute Tuesday is back. I gotta record anyway. You will see a more consistent showing of myself, and we'll go from there. So this is your boy Sneakerhead NY, and this is Nights at the Round Table. Yo, E behind the boards. Peace.